Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's the rumor that I gotta dig more into this before. If you're gonna start saying shit like that, you better cross your T's and dot your I's. So here we are. We are back. And kind of perfect. Speaking of perverts, weirdos, freaks, and rich deviants, Epstein had sex tapes of Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton.
They fucked each
claimed.
other? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was well, yeah, they were doing a tribute to Jagger and Bowie. Unsealed documents.
You know what? Let's start it from the top because we got an F-bomb from Kurt in the first 30 seconds.
F-bomb this story. In the first minute, you can't say sweet. The sweet delicious F-bomb.
Yeah, no, YouTube is totally going to monetize this anyway.
Keaton's on fire today. He brought his fastball.
What do you mean limited ads? We didn't say the F word for 35 seconds. It's just about sex tapes with Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton.
So help me God, I'm Jewish and I didn't know that mole people was an anti-Semitic trope.
I'm just glad you didn't put mushroom tops on their heads.
God damn it, I hire a couple of Jews to cover this. And I get tagged for anti-Semitism. All right, so Epstein had sex tapes of Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton, witness claimed.
They banged each other?
They banged each other. It was very Bowie Jagger.
Bowie Jagger.
Little Iggy Pop coming in later. Unsealed documents show defense team used Sarah Ransome's claims, later retracted, to show she manifestly lacks credibility. And I just want to point out, as you read this, it's so absurd. Like,
it is?
Oh, I wonder why she backed down on these claims, valuing her life as young people will. Jeffrey Epstein's defense team sought to undermine the reliability of one of the witnesses against him by revealing she had claimed the billionaire had kept sex tapes involving prominent people, a new batch of unsealed documents has disclosed. Those who were filmed were alleged to have included Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, and Sir Richard Branson, according to the allegations made by Sarah Ransome.
That's my favorite balloon billionaire.
They used to call him the Rocket on that island. Her claims were flagged by a firm representing Epstein's lawyer, Alan Dershowitz. Well, the figure and form of credibility. To demonstrate Ransome manifestly lacks credibility. The court was not given any proof of the existence of any tapes, and the allegations were retracted by Ransome soon after they were initially made. Ransome gave a victim impact statement before the sentencing of the British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell for sex trafficking. The court was provided with... See, she gets to go to the In-N-Out Burger. We drove by that In-N-Out Burger that they photographed her at. What? Ghislaine gets to go to the In-N-Out Burger? I don't get to go to the In-N-Out Burger? The court was provided with emails in which he claimed... which he claimed the three were filmed by the child sex offender. She also makes serious accusations against the former U.S. President Donald Trump. Now we're going to have all the
overvalued
all the MAGAs are going to come for us on this segment. I do not understand people who can't just accept a world where everyone is a sick pedophile. Like, why? There is no partisanship to sick, elite, rich weirdos exploiting minors. What
do you think pop music was?
That's not a red-blue issue. That's a green issue. They have the money to do it and get away with it. Prince Andrew stepped down from public life after the furor over his friendship with Epstein and paid millions to settle a civil sexual assault case with Virginia Giuffre, a woman he claimed never to have met. He was cast out of the working monarchy and no longer uses his HRH style after Giuffre, who was trafficked by Epstein, accused him of sexually assaulting her when she was 17.
I'm sorry.
The Duke has denied any wrongdoing.
What is the working monarchy exactly?
I mean, honestly, when I started reading that, it's like, guys, will you just have a proper revolution already? Come on, man. They always talk about, well, it brings tourism dollars. How many tourism dollars
to Epstein Island?
would like the skeletons of the royal family in a cage bring? Addressing the claims about Andrew and this is where the angry mob left them. Addressing the claims about, I would pay to see that. Addressing the claims about Andrew, the former U.S. President Clinton, and Branson, the British billionaire businessman, in the document released on Monday, Ransom wrote in the emails, quote, "When my friend had sexual intercourse with Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Richard Branson, sex tapes were in fact filmed on each separate occasion by Jeffrey.
Of course.
Thank God she managed to get a hold of some footage of the filmed sex tapes, which clearly identify the faces of Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Branson having sexual intercourse with her. Frustratingly enough, Epstein was not seen in any of the footage, but he was clever like that. When my friend eventually had the courage to speak out and went to the police in 2008 to report what had happened, nothing was done, and she was utterly humiliated by the police department, where she went to report what had happened with Epstein, Clinton, Branson, and Prince Andrew. Trump, who hopes to stand for U.S. president later this year, is also accused in the email extracts from Ransom, who alleges he, quote, had sexual relations with her friend at Jeffrey's New York mansion on regular occasions. Ransom soon withdrew her claims, saying, quote, I want to walk away from this. I shouldn't have contacted you, and I'm sorry I wasted your time. It's not worth coming forward, and I will never be heard anyhow, and only bad things will happen as a consequence of me going public.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, no, that sounds like a sincere retraction of a falsification, and not someone who's terrified that she's going to get taken out in the middle of the night with a silencer.
Manifestly unreliable to me, as the great Alan Dershowitz said.
Very unreliable, very unreliable. That does not at all sound like a terrified young girl who's afraid they're going to kill her. A Virgin Group spokesperson said in a New Yorker report published in 2019, Ransom admitted that she had invented the tapes. We can confirm that Sarah Ransom's claims are baseless and unfounded, unquote. In the email extracts from Ransom, she also took aim at Hillary Clinton, with one saying, quote, I will make sure that neither that evil bitch Hillary or that pedophile Trump gets elected. I got to say, man, listen, if you're listening, as long as I'm here, you have a place in this studio, Ms. Ransom. Quote,
but you have to say pedophile, not pedophile.
Yeah, well, we don't
do British pronunciations.
We're American. We just screw that up. Quote, I will also make sure that everyone on the goddamn planet sees that footage and photos and will release them to WikiLeaks by Sunday. That had happened. Ransom also appeared to say she had, quote, reached out to the Russians for help after claiming her emails had been hacked.
Whoa.
Okay, so but the hits just keep on coming for the Hellfire Club of the 21st century. That is our elite robber baron class. Epstein victim claimed Google co-founder Sergey Brin went kite surfing on private island. Epstein, people don't know that. In addition to pedophilia, people went there for the kite surfing.
They have great kite surfing.
Yeah, great winds there for kite surfing.
Great winds.
Yeah.
Epstein thought brought Brin, one of the richest people in the world, to J.P. Morgan, an introduction that led to big business for the bank. One of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's victims said she once met Google co-founder Sergey Brin and his then fiancé on Epstein's private island.
That's nice.
According to it's like a little pre-honeymoon.
That's like
newly
White Lotus.
Unsealed court documents. Sarah Ransom recalled the encounter to a journalist in a 2016 email exchange that she later recanted. At the time, Ransom said Brin was on the island with now ex-wife and Wachicki. I mean, where do you go from windsurfing and pedophilia? It was all downhill after that. CEO of DNA company 23andMe. Neither Brin nor Wachicki have been accused of any wrongdoing. Ransom said she had photos of her with the couple who couldn't be immediately reached for comment. Listen, even if you were not involved in the kind of sick shit going on that island, why were you hanging out with this guy? Why were you hanging out with this guy?
A bunch of people did. Did you see? You saw Lewis Black's thing about when he went.
So all of these qualifications these newspapers give. Oh, no evidence of wrongdoing. Hanging out with that guy is a wrongdoing. That's a wrongdoing in and of itself. It's not legal wrongdoing. It's a moral one.
Yeah, but I think it's okay. One depends on, is it before or after when he had the first sex with children charge?
Well, I believe this is after. I'm pretty sure. Does this give a date?
And also, maybe you don't know shit about it. I know hey, I'm going to this. A bunch of my friends, their comics, have done like shows for like Saudi, like really rich Saudis, really like shockingly powerful people. And I'm sure none of them looked into if they were into any kind of weird stuff like that. And I'm sure that's where half these influencers wind up. Yeah, so
they wind up getting shit on by Saudi royals over there for
is there yes, that Dubai toilet. That's what, by the way, if you look up the influencers on Instagram, they're just a Dubinese toilet.
That's where they end up. Yep. I met the pair when they visited the island for the day, as Sergei wanted to try out his new kite surfing equipment, as he had only just started kite surfing and was very eager to try out his new equipment with us girls, Ransom recalled in the email. I think this has to be after, because I don't think he had the email at the time of at the island, rather, at the time of the Florida charges. Bryn was among the roster of ultra-wealthy clients that Epstein brought to J.P. Morgan Chase, according to previously released court documents. Bryn also took advice from Epstein on setting up a tax-saving trust for his children, court documents show.
His island children?
Ironically enough. Bryn, big fan of irony, asked him to work on a tax-saving trust for his children. Those papers came from a Virgin Islands lawsuit alleging that J.P. Morgan benefits from Epstein's sex trafficking activities. Bryn was subpoenaed in that case. You know who else used to go a lot to Epstein for money?
Who?
Our friend of the show, Wasserman Schultz's friend. What's her name, Keaton?
Oh, Stacy Plaskett.
Stacy Plaskett.
Oh yeah, of course.
Stacy Plaskett.
She's from down there.
She's from the Virgin Islands, and she used to
they're not.
She used to hit him up for money, and that was well after he had been charged as a pedophile. After.
That's how you know.
She's the one who wants to grandstand in Congress with her moral.
She's the one with the talkie lady behind her that wrote her lines. Remember that? The crazy.
He became one of J.P. Morgan's biggest customers with an account of more than $4 billion after Epstein brought him to the bank in 2004. Bryn's appearance in court documents testify to the success of Epstein. This is the best last line in an article ever. As a consummate networker. That is, as Malcolm said when he sent this over, yes, that is what we think of when we think of Epstein.
I think the Israel's James Bond.
Networking skills.
The James Bond of Israel.
Yes. So, pretty amazing story. I'm just going to say, since we're on the Rumble side, there's absolutely no way that all these people are innocent of any wrongdoing. Absolutely no way.
You know how you can tell?
And
if they're telling you their story, like, so for example, I just watched, you saw Lewis Black talking about it?
I didn't see him. No.
Oh, he's on a podcast talking about going to Epstein's with Bobby Slayton in New York. The mansion.
Really?
This is before all the pedophile thing was a thing. And they're walking through, and he goes, you know, it was like a rich people thing. I can't remember who he said was there, but at one point Epstein shows him this marker board, and it's got all these like arrows and whatever. He goes, oh yeah, the defense minister of Israel's here talking. We're going over defenses.
Right.
And Lewis Black's like, that's when I was like, all right, this is like really creepy. Why in the hell would that guy talk to you about it? You could see a clip. I retweeted it. Burmis put it up. But a bunch of people went, and they all have different. Chelsea Handler told her, depends how much they talk about what happened when they went there, you know?
Right. Well, I think at best, there is absolutely no way, especially if you went to that island, that you didn't understand what was going on. And I think a lot of,
Chelsea Handler didn't.
You know, very often they talk about, I was
only there for the kite surfing.
I was only there for the midgets. She's a big
Make
fan.
a donation to my campaign
Chelsea
today.
Handler is a
Enter to
fan
win
of
a
Mitchell.
day of kite surfing on Epstein's Island.
But look, you can't network with everyone based on child assault. That's like only certain people. Whatever it is, your wildest
I was
fantasy
only there
islands.
to discuss vaccinating those poor young ladies and saving them from vaccine damage.
Maybe you got an old lady. Whatever your desire is, the guy wants you on tape, and preferably something that for blackmail for the great state of Israel. He doesn't get enough credit for that. That's what it's for. If he's not trying to blackmail you, maybe he's not going to roll out the kids.
Well, this is something I've wanted to do a video essay on for a while, actually, and I've never get to it. Yeah, look, you got people who go too far with the conspiracy theories about a cabal of pedophiles. Then again,
that's not a conspiracy
the media goes way out of its way to suppress real stories about elite pedophile rings. There was I can't remember
the ones
if this
that
was
don't get caught
in Germany or Austria. It was
Belgium.
like amongst was it Belgium?
Yes,
with
Marc Dutroux.
Right. So do you see that in the media? Do they talk about those things? So hey, if you don't want people to think there's a conspiracy of wealthy pedophiles running the media, maybe don't suppress these stories every time they come up. As far as Bill Clinton goes, listen, if you're going to lie about how many times you were on that plane,
guilty.
There's no reason to think you're telling the truth about what you did on that plane or possibly on that island. So I'm not saying, hey, man, maybe the Google people are just like, yeah, it's a little weird, man. Those girls look young. Hey, all right, let's go kite surfing. Maybe they didn't do anything. I'm sure a lot of people who went there didn't. I think even the people who went there who were not involved in that, most of them had to see what was going on. And they just chose not to pay attention to it. And I think that's what goes on with a lot of this.
You think?
I don't think all the media people who choose not to talk about these very wealthy elite pedophiles, I don't think they're all in on it. But I think they're all complicit in the sense of being like, I don't want to fuck up my shit. I'm not going to talk about it.
How do you think it worked? Why do you think they all signed a thing to bring Roman Polanski back safely?
And you know who spoke up very loudly to bring back Roman Polanski?
Who?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes.
Whoopi Goldberg, who sits there on The View, the voice of moral authority, was speaking up on his behalf.
Well, she was Guinan from Star Trek. So.
I'm telling you, when I heard she was going to be in Picard, I was like, I can't even watch it. Fortunately, they didn't use her a lot. Yeah, Keaton.
No, I mean, the enforcement around any sort of discourse around this stuff is just unbelievable. There was this guy who had a video taken down from YouTube. I'm only saying this because we're on Rumble, so whoever edits these, make sure you cut this out of the YouTube clip for sure. This guy says, he made this video because I guess Stephen Hawking's name was mentioned. Right, and he just made a video being like, how could Stephen Hawking have done anything? He can't even move. Basically,
I think
that
he's
was
a
the
victim
thrust of his video. And YouTube took that video down. Like, it was not an accusation.
And he was actually going with the Tim Pool, man.
And they took it down anyway.
Tim Pool, that's not a small channel, man.
Yeah.
All he did was start reading the names, and they cut his live stream.
Because you might get ideas in your head about the one true faith. So you got to keep that repressed.
You might start to think that the people who are running shit don't have the moral authority to.
Yeah. Well, we all saw Taken. We just didn't know that Liam Neeson would be selling the girls as a CIA guy.
Yeah.
In conjunction with France and Mossad.
All right. I think we'll go to Super Chats.
Okay. 3 more tunnel comments. Lorian, they called Dig Alert. What more do you want?
What?
I don't know. I don't know. Right. Dig Alert. Thank you, Lorian. James Clark, they are Shabbatists who have connections to Jewish mafia. This tunnel very well could have been used for illegal purposes, an escape tunnel at best. The Reaper Son, they're flipping tables like Jesus. Whoops. Thank you, the Reaper Son. That's it for Super Chats. Now we can focus on all of these wonderful Rumble rants.
It is a weird-ass tunnel. It gets narrower as you go in.
I haven't seen the videos. Now I got to see the videos. Okay, revolting media. A serious act that threatens the security and stability of the state is treason. Not protecting the border is treason. Global orgs are driving this with no mandate. Try the treacherous national traitors.
Hey, Iran-Contra was treason. What do you want? Where do you think you live?
Yep.
There's Kurt's little bit of sunshine. And back to Russ.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit